Can you guys hear me okay? Great. Ensure you have a couple of blocks available or something to sit on. A cushion's great. And just remove the flesh from the back of your hips. Great. So welcome to this joy-filled practice. And as a reminder, joy is not happiness. Joy is present moment awareness. It's being able to breathe into whatever is happening without judging it as right or wrong. We've been brought up and conditioned to be in society where we have to always be happy, happy, happy. But then when we're not, what are we? So allow this practice to be an opportunity to separate yourself from needing to achieve or attain any particular state. And instead, can you let yourself, your body, your breath, your awareness infuse each moment with the possibility of this presence. Joy is not happiness. Joy is the state that arises when you allow your heart to open and receive all that is. And when we get to practice present moment awareness or joy, we open up our entire being to a portal of infinite possibilities in our lives. Please place your hands at your heart center. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. And some of the prerequisites to being able to experience joy is to slow down. When we speed through life, through our thoughts, through our day, we deny ourselves the presence of the opportunity of joy. So right here and now, slow down your breath. Notice where your breath lands in your body. And joyfully welcome each new inhalation, letting your body be filled with your life force. And joyfully release your exhalation, knowing you don't have to hold on to any of it. When you open up to receive, it is graciously revealed and gifted to you. We'll begin this practice with a single chant. One Om, one invocation, and one Om. So exhale to clear your lungs. Draw in a deep breath. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Muktaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralanbaya Tejase Om. Bow to your heart, acknowledging the joy that lies there, that shows itself as a variety of different emotional states and energetic states and sensations. Without judging any of them as better or worse, can you be present and attend to it all, attending to it with kindness, with curiosity. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, recognizing that the presence or the portal to presence is through your body. Perhaps allow that to be your intention for your practice today. The portal to your joy is through your body. And please release your hands and transition to a tabletop position on your hands and knees. Fingers spread wide, toes are curled under. Take a deep breath in. Exhale into a cat stretch. Push through your arms, curl your spine, chin to chest, tailbone down. Inhale your cow breath, belly drops, lift up, gaze lifts, tailbone up. Exhale, push into your hands, draw your tailbone down. If you close your eyes, 3 more cycles of your cat-cow breathing. Bring your attention into your body and notice where there's spacious openness. Notice where there might be tension, tightness, discomfort. Become curious without needing to make anything wrong. Inhale into a neutral position. Exhale, slowly lift your knees off the ground about 1 inch and begin to engage your belly. And then send your hips up and back. Knees stay very generously bent, downward facing dog. And slowly let your hips swing from side to side. Maybe making little circles with your hips in one direction and then the other. Keep your fingers plugged into your mat, especially through your index finger and your thumb. Allow your joy to be expressed as you melt your heart. Through each breath in and each breath out. Find your stillness. Inhale. Exhale, let your heels release down to the earth. Knees are just slightly bent. Index finger plugged in, shoulders onto your back body, belly's toned. Inhale, extend your right leg up behind you. Exhale, forward into a high plank, right knee to belly. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, open your hip, knee to the sky, open hip pose. Inhale, extend your leg straight back behind you. Exhale, knee to belly. Inhale, reach up, back. Bend your knee, open hip pose. One more time, inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to belly. Inhale, reach back. Open hip pose. Inhale, extend your right leg back. And exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands and drop your left knee to the ground. Inhale, extend your arms to the sky, back toes are curled under. Exhale, arms alongside you, back knee lifts, torso's at a 45-degree angle. Keep your back knee lifted. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands frame your front foot, step back into a high plank position. Find your breath and tone your belly. Drop your knees, slide forward, lower down, elbows hug your body. Untuck your toes, push into your pinky toes. Inhale, peel your heart up. Exhale, curl over your toes, find your way back to your downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. As you begin to move into the awakening of your body, you find your way back to joyful presence in each breath in and out. Good. Inhale, extend your left leg up. Exhale, left knee to belly and plank. Inhale, reach up. Bend your knee. Exhale, open hip pose. Inhale, extend your leg. Exhale, knee to belly and plank. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, open hip. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to belly. Inhale, extend. And exhale, open hip pose. Good. Inhale, extend your leg. Exhale, step your foot forward, drop your knee to the ground, reach your arms up and find your breath. Inhale, extend through your fingers. Good. Exhale, arms alongside you, back knee lifts. Keep your back knee lifted. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to the earth, step back, high plank. Option to drop your knees if you wish, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, peel your heart up, cobra or upward facing dog. Hips might come off the ground. Exhale, curl over your toes, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. One more breath. Each breath is your opportunity to find present moment joy. Inhale, extend your right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Inhale, crescent lunge, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, release your hands behind you, interlace your hands, squeeze your legs towards each other, and then fold to the inside of your front leg. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale, reach your arms back up to the sky. Exhale, arms stay extended, drop your knee to the ground. Inhale, reach through your fingers. Exhale, place your hands to your heart center. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist and hook your left elbow across your right knee. Find your lunge twist. Option to keep your back knee down or lift your back knee off the ground. 3 breaths. Good. Inhale, return your hands to the ground. Exhale, step back into a high plank. Breathe in. Knees can drop if you wish, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Return to your breath. Downward dog is your chance to reset with joy. Noticing whatever is in this moment and attending with kindness. Inhale, extend your left leg. Exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Extend your arms up to the sky, crescent lunge. Back heel is lifted. Exhale, hands to your low back. Interlace your hands with the opposite grip. And then exhale as you squeeze your legs to the midline, fold your torso forward. Continue to encourage your left hip back, right hip forward. Good, breathe in and out. Inhale, extend your arms up to the sky. Exhale, drop your back knee to the ground, nice and slow. Release your hands to your heart center. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist and hook your right elbow across your left knee. Option to lift your back knee off the ground. If your back knee is lifting, firm your back leg up. Inhale. Infuse your body with joy right now through your breath. The joy comes from letting move what needs to move. Pain is resisting what wants to move. Breathe in and out. Good. Inhale, return your hands to the ground. Exhale, step back into high plank. Breathe in, belly's toned, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, lift into your back bend. Exhale, curl over your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, soften your knees, look forward, and exhale, step to the top of your mat, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend your arms up. This is your first time coming to standing pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your life force. Feel your life force expressed as joy, which is present moment awareness. There's no good, there's no bad, there just is here and now. Slow down your breath. Ujjayi breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Good. Inhale, heel toe your feet to touch. Reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale your hands to your heart center. Sit your hips down into an imaginary chair. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hook your right elbow across your left knee. Prayer twist, chair twist. Inhale. Exhale, maybe bring your weight slightly more into your heels. Feel the inner lining of your feet heavy. Inhale. Exhale, belly tones as you twist. One more breath. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Reach your arms up, lengthen your legs, stretch tall. Exhale your hands to your heart and alongside your waist. Inhale, extend your arms up, feet are touching still. Exhale, hips back and down, hands through heart center. Inhale, belly's tone, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist your left elbow across your right knee. Gaze up towards your right elbow. Feel your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Notice if your weight is favoring one part of your foot. Bring your present awareness, your present moment awareness to the four corners of your feet. Maybe lift your toes. Balance slightly back into your heels. Good. Inhale, return to center. And now exhale, fold forward and separate your feet a couple of inches. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Take a full cycle of breath in and out. Good. Inhale, extend your right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Drop your left knee, moving into a thigh stretch. You might want to pad your knee a little bit so you can roll your mat up, your back knee. Inhale, walk your hands to your front thigh. Lengthen your torso for a moment. Feel the energy ground down through your right heel and then bend your left knee and reach back for the front of your left ankle. Alternately, you can use a strap to connect with your left ankle. Pull your left heel towards your glutes. Send your right hip back. Keep your right knee to the center and inhale, option to extend your right arm up. Breathe in and out. One more breath. Inhale, return your hands to the ground. Unravel your mat if it was folded up and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, forward into plank. Exhale, lower down all the way to your belly. Pause here. Untuck your toes, interlace your hands behind your back, squeeze your shoulders back. Push into your pinky toes heavily so that your knees come off the ground. Inhale, with this toned belly, lift your heart up. Reach your knuckles to the wall behind you. 3 more breaths. Chin is humble, crown of your head is lengthening. See if you can peel maybe one more set of ribs off the ground. Good. Exhale, hands to your ground alongside your shoulders. Come up through tabletop, curl your toes under, lift up into downward facing dog. Inhale, extend your left leg back behind you. Exhale, step your left foot forward, drop your right knee, pad your knee if you'd like with your mat. Weight is into your left heel. Draw your shoulders back, lift your torso, bend your right knee, reach for the front of your ankle, perhaps using a strap. And as you do so, flex your toes back to the wall behind you. Begin to pull your heel towards your glutes. And at the same time, kick your ankle, your shin bone away from you to create a counter resistance. Inhale, option to extend your left arm up and breathe. Heart is bright, fingers joyfully expanding. Noticing any tension and receiving it in this moment with your breath. Inhale, return your foot to the ground, hands to the ground. Step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, forward into plank. Exhale, lower down to your belly. Untuck your toes. Interlace your hands behind you, opposite grip. This time, arms, chest, and legs come off the ground. Inhale, peel everything off the ground. Full Shalabhasana locust pose. So the first one was like a half locust pose, half Shalabhasana. This is your full pose. Inhale, extend everything up and back, forward and extending away from the midline. Good, one more breath. Exhale, release your hands. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up through tabletop, hips to heels, puppy dog, tense your fingers. Lift the underlining of your arms. Move into your breath, 5 deep breaths. See if you can breathe into your back body. Breathe into your side waist. Breathe into your heart center. So often when life gets uncomfortable, it's easy to want to distract. Can you use your breath to keep you in this moment? To allow you to recognize what you do with your discomfort. Good. Inhale, slowly find your way through tabletop. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend your right leg up behind you. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Drop your left heel. Warrior 2 legs. Inhale, reach your arms up. Front and back of your mat, lunge into warrior 2. Good. Take a full cycle of breath. Good. Release your hands behind you. Squeeze your shoulders. As you do that, pull your belly in and your tailbone anchors down towards the ground. And now fold to the inside of your front leg. Cycles of breath are moving through you, deepening and slowing down your breath. Good. Inhale, slowly lift your torso. Exhale, turn your right toes forward. Turn your left toes to the back edge of your mat. Lunge into your left leg, open your arms, warrior 2. Lengthen your stance so your front knee is right over your ankle, not coming beyond your ankle. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Pull your left glute into your body, your right thigh back. Belly's toned, inhale. Exhale, release your hands behind you, interlace with the opposite grip. Ensure that your arm bones go back and your shoulders are connected, and then draw your low belly in. Fold to the inside of your left leg. Two more breaths. Keep your right outer foot heavy and your right thigh firm. Left glute draws into your body. Arms extend up. Good. Inhale, slowly lift your torso. Exhale, release your hands. Turn your left toes forward. Turn your right toes to face the long edge, the short edge of your mat. Open up your arms, moving into triangle pose. Soften your front knee. Reach your right fingertips forward, all the way down to the ground, perhaps onto a block. If you need support, left arm up to the sky. Now, if you feel like your arm bone is coming forward, the front of your shoulder, extend your arm towards the front of you. Plug your armpit back, shoulder back, and then extend and open up and see if you can create more spaciousness. And in that spaciousness, infuse with joy through your breath. You would inhale, return your left head to your waist, bend your front knee slightly, pick up your block if you're using a block, and come all the way up to stand. Right toes forward, left toes to the back edge of your mat. Drop your block alongside your back heel, which is now your left heel actually. And inhale, extend your arms, leg is straight, just a micro bend in your front knee so you can straighten your front knee a little bit. Beautiful. Now reach forward with your left fingers, drop your hand, and extend your right arm up to the sky. And once more, if you feel that there's more capacity for joy to be expressed in this moment, extend your right arm forward, pull your shoulder, your arm bone back, plug your armpit back, and then extend up from that open, spacious awareness. 3 deep breaths. Beautiful. Inhale your right hand to your waist, bend your left knee, soften your front knee, remove your block and come all the way to stand. Turn both sets of toes to face the front of your mat and step forward. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale your hands to your heart. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the presence of your feet into the earth. Connecting this relationship with Mother Earth that receives all of you and that's willing to hold the space joyfully for anything that your life brings forward. Pain plus presence equals freedom, equals joy. Release your hands. Standing figure four. Lift your right leg up. Place your right ankle across your left thigh and immediately sit down into your imaginary chair. Hands can stay at your heart center, or hands can come one to your sole, one to your outside of your knee, and then you squeeze the midline as though you want to hug your knee to your foot and your foot to your knee. Sit down a little bit deeper. Keep your chest slightly lifted. Breathe your low belly in. Inhale. Exhale. Whatever tension you're feeling, whatever wobbliness you're feeling, can you receive it in this moment with your breath? No need to make it wrong. No need to add judgment. One more breath. And push down through your standing leg. Inhale, make your way all the way up. Unravel your legs. One breath in, reach up. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward, reset. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, hands to your heart center and alongside your waist. Lift your left knee up. Place your left ankle across your right thigh. Sit down into your imaginary chair. Hands can stay at your heart center. Hands can come to your foot and to your knee. Sit your hips down a little bit more. Bring the weight into your right heel and then squeeze everything to the center of your shin. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale, slowly make your way up to standing. Exhale, release your hand, release your foot. Inhale, arms up. Stay standing. Exhale your hands to your heart and alongside your waist. Good. Take a moment to breathe in and out. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward into plank. Exhale, lower down to your belly. As you lower down, place your forearms onto the ground, palms face down. Push into the tops of your feet, so much so that your knees come off the ground. Now draw your belly in and your tailbone towards your heels and isometrically begin to squeeze your elbows back as your torso lifts, your heart lifts. Chin is slightly humble. So your heart is your North Star. Your gaze follows your heart. You don't have to lift your chin up to look beyond where your heart is shining. 3 more breaths. Listen to the wave of your breath, pulsating through you joyfully, freely. Good. And now inhale. Flip your right hand, so your right forearm, so your right hand is now pointing to the left side of your mat. Forearm is parallel to the top edge of your mat. Bend your left knee, reach back and find the front of your left ankle. You can do it from the inside or the outside of your foot. Push down through your right foot, firmly through your pinky toes, and then keep your knees hugging towards the midline as you pull your heel towards you. Lift your shoulders back, lift your heart forward. Half frog pose, 3 breaths. Exhale, slowly release your foot. Return your hands to Sphinx pose. Elbows under your shoulders, palms down, forearms down. Isometrically pull your elbows back as your heart lifts up. Pinky toes are heavy. Breathe in. Exhale. Inhale, flip your left forearm. So your left fingers are now pointing to the right side of your mat. Bend your right knee. Reach back for the front of your right ankle. Start with your knees squeezed in towards each other. Flex your toes away from you. And then push firmly into your left toes as you kick your right shin back into your hand. Peel your heart forward. Keep your shoulders onto your back. Breathe steady. Listen to your breath. Be present to this moment. And allow this moment to inform you. What do you need? Do you need to deepen your back bend? Do you need to lower it down? Inhale, return your foot to the ground. Both elbows to the ground, Sphinx pose. Isometrically pull your elbows back. Feet are heavy, lift your heart. Notice if you can lift maybe 1 more millimeter off of your belly. Beautiful. And now exhale, lower down. Make a pillow for your forehead. Rest your forehead onto your hands. Bend your knees and sway your legs from side to side. Good. Release your legs to the ground. Curl your toes under. Lift up into a tabletop position and downward facing dog. Lengthen and stretch out through dog. Maybe pedal your heels one at a time. Check in with your body. Feel your breath. Beautiful. Good. And now inhale. Exhale. H-A. Ha. Do that again. Inhale. Exhale. Ha. Inhale forward into table. Exhale, lower down to the earth. Once there, bend both of your knees. Reach back for the front of both ankles. Pull your knees towards each other. Point your toes away from your body. Lift your shoulders up. Engage your belly slightly. Inhale, begin to kick your shin bones into your hands. Lifting your torso. Chin is humble. Maybe thighs lift off the ground. Find 3 more deep breaths. Keep your knees hugging the midline. Move to the place where you can continue to breathe. Notice your present awareness moment right here and now. What is your body telling you? Exhale, slowly release. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Lift up into tabletop puppy dog, hips to heels, toes stay curled under, please. Tend your fingers, lengthen your spine, and move back to your breath. Good. Inhale into a tabletop position. And exhale, lift up into a high kneeling position. For a moment, just separate your legs so that your knees actually come on down onto your heels to your hips to your heels. Separate your knees so they're moving towards the edges of your mat, and then untuck your toes. No, sorry, I'm going to change that. Bring your knees a little closer. Separate your feet, and then sit your hips in between the bowl that you've created in between your feet. Now, if your hips don't come down to the ground, you're certainly welcome to sit on the block and let this be your practice. So this is hero pose, Virasana. You can stay right here, lifted. Breathe in, soften your breath into your thighs. Imagine your breath massaging your thighs, welcoming whatever spacious presence is revealing itself to you. As an option, you can relax down onto your forearms, come into a supine position, relax right down to your back. I'm going to stay here for about 7 more breaths. If you're all the way down onto your back, with each breath, lengthen from your pelvis down through your knees as though your knees are wanting to extend beyond where they are. And then exhale, let the back of your waist soften down. 4 more breaths. It takes a while sometimes for these 4 big muscles to relax. The quadricep is made up of 4 muscles. So being aware right now, if you were to access your joy, which is this present moment, where can you soften to allow it to reveal itself to you? To avoid resisting, to welcome this experience. And maybe even ask yourself, why am I choosing to have this experience right here and now? Inhale up onto your elbows if you're down, all the way up to a tall seating position. Lift up, pull your knees towards each other, curl your toes under, and sit your hips to your heels for a moment and just rest. Close your eyes. Draw in a deep breath. Exhale, HA. One more time, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale into a tabletop position. This pose is called full cow facing pose. Lift your right knee up and drop your right knee on the outside of your left knee so your legs are crisscrossed. Untuck your toes so the tops of your feet are on the ground, and then lift yourself up, walk yourself up so you can sit your hips in between your legs. Your legs are now crisscrossed with your left leg over your right leg. Good. Inhale, extend your arms up to the sky. And exhale, drop your left hand behind your neck to the center of your shoulder blades, and then pull your right arm all the way back, arm bone back. Lift your right arm towards the center of your spine to meet your left fingers. Now, if you have a strap available, you're welcome to grab your strap and bridge any gap in between your fingers. If you don't worry about it. Just stay here. If your fingers can connect, interconnect your fingers, grasp your fingers. And as you find your way into this pose, allow your left hip to become heavier. Lift your torso. Draw your shoulders towards each other. Push your head gently in towards your left forearm. Chin is down. 2 more breaths. So this is cow facing pose. Same leg that's over is the same arm that's bent from the top. Slowly unravel your arms. Inhale back to a tabletop position, hands down. Unravel your knees. Prepare for the next side. So lift your left knee up. Place it to the outside of your right leg. Untuck your toes. Tops of your feet are on the ground. Walk yourself up until you're seated in between your legs. Now, just as we did in hero pose, if you cannot sit your hips to the ground, please sit on the block. Inhale, extend same leg forward as the arm that goes up, right arm up. Exhale, right hand walks down to the center of your spine. Left arm comes behind you. Keep your left arm bone back. If it pulls forward, it's going to make it harder to access. Left arm bone back, and then wiggle your left fingers up to meet your right fingers. Chin is gently lifted. Top of your head pushes back. If your hands don't connect, you can use a strap or just imagine that they're connecting. Create your own energetic line. Inhale. Right hip is heavy. Exhale. See if you can imagine your right outer hip reaching, softening, folding down to the ground. Good. 1 more breath. Inhale, release your arms. Come back to center. Unravel your legs. Lift up into downward facing dog. Good. And inhale forward into a tabletop. Once more, knees to the ground. With your toes curled under. Now sit up nice and tall, moving into Uttanasana camel pose. Hands at your back pocket. Elbows squeeze, arm bones drop back, belly in and tailbone down. Inhale. Exhale, slowly imagine a string is pulling your heart up. And as the string pulls your heart up, keep your chin humble and just allow your shoulders to curl back into an imaginary hand. It's always been there telling you joy is your birthright. And it doesn't matter what your conditioning was about the right or wrong judgments of feelings, that all of it is part of this human experience. You can release your hands to your heels if you'd like. Keep your shoulders drawn, lift your heart. 2 more breaths. Inhale, walk yourself back up. Exhale, sit your hips to your heels. Place your hands on your heart. Close your eyes. Feel the pulsation of your presence, your joy beneath your hands, breathing through you and as you. Good. Inhale. Slowly return to a tabletop. Roll onto your right hip and extend your right leg forward so it's parallel to the top edge of your mat. And then wiggle your left leg wider away from you, and your left heel is opening wider than your left hip. Deer pose. Inhale, hands frame your front leg. Exhale, with both hips heavy, begin to walk yourself forward. Keep both sets of toes flexed towards your knee. Right shin is parallel to the front edge of your mat. Left leg is open, knee in line with your hip, heel wider than your knee. That's it. And then fold forward. Now, if you want to feel a little bit more sensations into your hip, you can cradle your front leg with your elbows, with the inside of your elbows, one around your knee, one around your foot, just like you did in your standing figure 4, and hug the midline. If you want to feel a little bit more sensations, melt your torso as you encourage your right hip back and away from you. Notice how, as you move into your hips, that there's no shortcuts here. This is where you get to slow down and breathe into whatever sensations. Allow your lens of perception to open to the mystery of what you've been holding, and what you might be willing to release. Letting go of the trance of having to be a particular way, feel a particular way, move in a particular way, and just feeling your breath take you into your hips. Inhale, slowly make your way up and transition to your other hip. So roll over onto your opposite hip. Shin bone is parallel to the top edge of your mat. Right knee is in line with your hip. Right heel, right ankle is wider than your knee. Both sets of toes flexed. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, melt over your front shin bone to the degree that you can. Find your breath and graciously bow, taking whatever variation you'd like. Perhaps you're cradling your foot and your knee. If you need to feel a little bit more, you could wiggle your front shin a little bit higher so your heel is now higher than your knee. Keep drawing your left hip heavy and back, down and back. Breathe in. So deer pose is a modification for pigeon, but in and of itself is an amazing pose to explore and take the lens into the structure of your body where you've been holding tension and tightness. 2 more breaths. Just see where you can let go. Beautiful. Inhale, gently walk yourself up. And this time, fire log pose. Place your right shin under you with your heel towards your right hip, and then swing your left leg up and across your right thigh. Flex your left toes. So you're in a seated position. So this is your starting point with your bottom heel towards your glutes. If you have a little more flexibility or accessibility into your hips, you begin to wiggle your bottom shin so that it's now on top of your top shin. So you're creating a stacked fire log sensation with your legs. Now make sure, please, that your toes are flexed and you're not sickling your ankle, which means the top of your top foot is down and pushing into your leg. Instead, flex your top toes towards your knee. That's it. You might have to come off a little bit, or you might have to walk your bottom shin in to make that accessible. Both toes are flexed. Inhale with your fingers behind you, lengthen your spine. Exhale, close your eyes, take a moment to settle, to soften. You can stay right here, or over the next few breaths, begin to let your torso fall forward, leading with your heart, keeping your pinky toes turned towards your knees. So sickling action is the top of your foot pushing down, which could be a little bit dangerous for your knees. So pull your pinky toes in towards your knees. Toes are flexed in towards your knees. 2 more breaths. Inhale, gently walk yourself up. Oof, I haven't done that pose in a long time. Exhale, unravel your legs and switch sides. Start with your bottom shin on a perpendicular angle, so your heel's towards your glutes, and then your top leg comes across, toes flex. Let's take a moment on this side to remove the flesh from the back of your hips. Sitting tall. If you need support, you can always place a block under your top knee and rest your top knee on the block. Inhale. Exhale, decide if your bottom shin is where it needs to be, or if you wish to wiggle it forward, which deepens your hip stretch. Both sets of toes continue to flex towards your knees. Both hips evenly grounded. Notice if you're rolling onto one hip. And then exhale, soften your torso, lead with your heart, melt forward. As you find your way into your breath, can you recognize your goodness here? No matter what your hips are holding or have held on for a lifetime, does not define who you are. Joy is being aware of this present moment state that is engulfed with your essential goodness. Beneath all of your shadows and all of your light is a pure essence of who you are. Can you infuse joy in all of it and say thank you? Thank you for the troubles. Thank you for all of the grace. Thank you for this moment. Inhale, slowly lift yourself up. Unravel your legs. Place them in front of you for a moment. Just give them a little bounce. Yeah, good. This might feel a little bit awkward, but I'd love for you to transition, please, into downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. Take a moment to notice what has shifted, what has opened. Take a deep, full cycle of breath in. Exhale, HA. Inhale forward into a high plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. 1 full cycle of breath. Good, and inhale, soften your knees, look forward, step or float to the top of your mat and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale your hands to your heart center and alongside your waist. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back with your right foot. Drop your right knee to the ground. Inhale, extend your arms up to the sky. Exhale, drop your elbows, cactus position with your arms. Pull your elbows slightly forward so your elbows aren't open wide. Forward with your elbows. So they're at like a 45-degree angle with your upper arms. And then squeeze your shoulders back. Hug your legs towards each other. Lift your heart. Belly is toned. Lean back. Come into a back bend. Cactus arms. So cactus arms, elbows are slightly forward, Katie. Drop your elbows in line with your shoulders. And then just open up a tiny bit more. Yes, and lean back. Beautiful. 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale, extend your arms up to the sky. Exhale, release your hands. Lift your back knee. Step to the top of your mat. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back with your left leg. Drop your knee to the ground. Inhale, extend your arms up, and then drop your elbows into goalposts. Elbows are slightly forward, so you can look back and see there's an angle from your shoulders to your elbows. Now suck your armpits back, squeeze your shoulders. Begin to turn your pinky fingers in slightly, thumbs out, lean back, find your back bend. As you come into your back bend, squeeze your legs towards each other. Draw your belly in, tailbone down. Feel the imaginary hand of grace supporting you, and it's not even imaginary. When you step into your joy, into your full-bodied expression, it's always there. 1 more breath. Inhale, extend your arms up. Exhale, hands to the earth. Lift your back knee. Step to the top of your mat. Fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart and alongside your waist. Dancer's pose. Nalarajasana. Bend your right leg. Kick your heel to your glute. Hand now comes to the inside of your right ankle. Pause for a moment. Squeeze your knees towards each other. Anchor through your left foot and then extend your left arm. Inhale, belly's toned, tailbone down. Exhale, kick your leg back. You've done this a few times already. And as you kick your leg back, lift your heart. Come into a back bend. Avoid going into a forward fold. Let this be a back bend. So you create an arc in your back. Extend through your fingers. Reach your leg back. Kick back. Lift your heart. Take a moment to breathe. Enjoy whatever that is experiencing in this moment. 1 more breath. Good. Exhale, release, leg and hand down. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Stay standing. Exhale your hands to your heart and alongside your waist. Bend your left knee in, hand to the inside of your left foot. Squeeze your knees towards each other. Inhale, extend your right arm up. Flex your toes away from you. Keep hugging your knees to the midline and begin to kick your left leg back. And as you kick your left leg back, notice if your left hip is wanting to open up. Try to keep your left hip down. Reach back, reach up, find your back bend. Heart is lifted, bright and open. 2 more breaths. Exhale, slowly release. Hands alongside you. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Place your hands on your heart. Close your eyes. Take a full cycle of breath in and out. 2 more breaths just like that. So as we've just gone into a deep back bend, we're just giving the spine time to reset before moving into a forward fold. 1 more breath. Ujjayi breath, seal your lips. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, step back into downward facing dog. Take a cycle of breath in and out. Inhale, drop to your knees. Roll over onto your left hip. Keep your left heel in towards your right glute. Swing your right leg all the way up and across your left leg. Good. Lord of the fish pose. Seated spinal twist. Anchor your left big toe mound down into the ground. Place your right fingers behind you. Now, if this lifts your right hip significantly off the ground, please extend your left leg long in front of you. Inhale your left arm up. Exhale, twist and hook your left elbow across your right knee. With each breath, create space and lengthen your spine. And then exhale, twist to your right. Your right fingers are tented, giving you nice long space through your, as though it's an imaginary third spine or second spine rather. Over time, perhaps your shoulders twist, your neck might twist, your gaze might turn towards your right shoulders. Move into the space that gives you the opportunity to feel expanded. Inhale, gently tone your belly and please come back to center. Hug your knee in, lengthen your spine. No need to counter twist, just neutralize your spine. Exhale, release, switch your legs. Opposite leg comes under, opposite leg comes over. Once more, if you need to extend your bottom leg, please do so. Your top leg is anchoring through your big toe mount. Left fingers behind you. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, twist and hook your right elbow across your left knee. Good. And continue to anchor through your left big toe mount. Maybe for a moment, lift your left hip off the ground and pull your left knee a little closer to you. Lengthen through your spine and breathe in. And then exhale and encourage your left glute, your left hip to settle down. Good, but stay tall through your spine. Joyfully move into your twist. Maybe turn up the corners of your lips and notice what that brings to your pose. Good, inhale back to center. Hug your knee, lengthen your spine. Exhale, HA. Unravel your legs. Come into a tabletop position. Curl your toes under and come find your way into downward facing dog. Pedal through your heels. As you started, sway your hips from side to side. Moving into a few final hip openers. Inhale, extend your right leg up. Pigeon pose. Exhale, your right knee to your right wrist. Slide your left leg back. So in pigeon, to refine pigeon, you can have your foot directly diagonal from your knee with your toes pointed back. Or if your hips are more open, you can place your shin bone a little bit more parallel to the top edge of your mat and flex your toes towards your knee. So you're karate chopping the outer edge of your foot. Whichever you choose, please keep your back toes curled under. Lift your torso, inhale. And as you exhale, you begin to melt, 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 melt your torso. Keep your back toes curled under. Your back shin is nice and long, so your heel is not falling to the inside or to the outside. Over time, you may choose to melt fully into a sleeping pigeon, creating a little pillow for your forehead, either with stuffed fists, with your block, with your hands. And then slowly breathe light into the dark and heavy space of your right hip. Meet the shadow with your conscious awareness. The shadow is the heaviness of your right hip. Pull light into it. Notice how it starts to soften. This is how we begin to feel good, feeling bad. Two more deep breaths. Good. Inhale, walk yourself up to your hands. Slowly step back into downward facing dog, pedal your heels. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale your left knee to your left wrist. Slide your right leg back. Toes stay curled under. Decide how you would like to engage with your shin and with your foot. So if your shin is diagonal, pointing towards your right hip, then your foot points and moves from that same line. If your shin is coming forward and you can karate chop your foot, please ensure that you're not sickling, which means you're landing on the top of your foot. Instead, you're creating a strong line from the outer edge of your foot. Inhale, lengthen your torso. Exhale, slide your torso forward, melt to the earth. So a modification for pigeon would be to stay taller in your torso. Point your toes back. And place a block perhaps beneath your left hip to sit your hip onto a block. So lots of ways to support pigeon. 5 more breaths. Good, last 2. Inhale, slowly, hands beneath your shoulders. Exhale, lift up and back into downward dog. Your last time to pedal through your heels or sway your hips from side to side. Inhale, release your knees to the ground. Roll over onto your back. Once on your back, bend your knees, place the soles of your feet on the ground. Bring your heels close enough that you can feel them as you extend your arms with your fingertips. Wrap your shoulders under your back body. Inhale, push into your feet to lift your hips up, bridge pose. Keep your knees hugging the midline, inner feet heavy, interlace your hands beneath your back. Might start to wrap your shoulders under your back a little bit more. Perhaps the center of your upper spine comes away from the ground as you lengthen your knuckles towards your heels. Isometrically draw your heels towards your shoulders, lift your hips, lift your heart. Feel the back of your head grounding into the earth, and from that place, see if you can lift a little bit more. Exhale, slowly unravel your arms, release your hips down. Wiggle your feet as wide as your mat, tense your knees in, and tap your knees a few times to the center. Good, and heel toe your right foot in line with your hip now. Lift your left leg up, place your left ankle across your right thigh. Reach your hands for the back of your right thigh, pull your right leg in towards your torso as you extend your left hip away from you. Keep your left toes flexed. Over time, you might find you can reach for the front of your right shin, but please don't compromise depth, alignment over depth. So if you find that as you reach, your hips come off the ground, your tailbone comes off the ground, please release and just find the back of your thigh, or you can even use a strap so that you're lengthening your tailbone down as you pull your right knee in and encourage your left hip away from your shoulder. Keep your toes flexed, pinky toes towards your left shoulder. 1 more breath. Exhale, slowly unravel, pull both knees in, rock from side to side. Good. Drop your left foot to the ground, place your right ankle across your left thigh, reach back for either your hamstring or your shin bone, ensuring that every part of your spine, all the way down, is lengthening on the ground. Keep your right toes flexed, pinky toe towards your shoulder, left hip down towards the bottom of your mat as you pull your right knee towards your shoulders. Take 5 breaths. We've done a lot of hip opening. You might find a little bit more spacious awareness right now in this moment. Last breath. Good. Slowly unravel your leg, pull your knees in, rock from side to side. And the next time your knees fall to the right, let them stay there. Open your arms into a T formation or cactus. Supine twist, gaze towards your left shoulder. You can use any variation, which might be right hand over your left thigh to create a little bit more heaviness on your left and right leg. You can wrap your left leg over your right leg and encourage both knees down. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale with a little toning through your belly. Please come back to center. Hug both knees in, rock from side to side. And the next time your knees come to your left, let them stay. Gaze to your right, extend your arms, find your variation. See if you can relax your right shoulder even more onto the ground, the back of your rib cage. Inhale with a toning in your belly. Please come back to center. Pull both knees in. Rock from side to side. Take a few more deep breaths. Good. And then exhale, release your legs and release your arms. Shavasana. As you come into Shavasana, take a moment, perhaps to pull away the flesh from the back of your hips. Perhaps a moment to wrap your arm bones under your body. Create more awareness and openness and joy through the front of your shoulders and your heart. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale. One more time, breathe in. Fill your body front, back, and side. Exhale. Relax. Relax into this moment. Relax into your joy. Slowly come back into your bodies. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, HA.
I haven't eaten 17 hours. It's lunchtime. No, it's lunchtime.
Take another deep breath in.
It's lunchtime.
Exhale, HA. Notice what you're experiencing in this moment and welcome it all. Welcome it all with the remembrance that the purpose of your life is joy. And joy simply means attending to each moment with curiosity, with acceptance. Take a deep inhale, bring some welcoming movements into your fingers and toes. Exhale, HA. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead and your feet in the opposite direction. And once more, HA. Find your way to one side slowly. Maybe your mantra today is, I have no time to rush. Gently make your way to a seated position. I have no time to rush. Take your time. Once there, place your hands at your heart center. Bow to your beautiful, radiant heart. Joyfully allowing it to be expressed with whatever moves through it. Pain times resistance equals suffering. Pain or discomfort times presence equals joy. Draw in a deep breath through your nose. Exhale, HA. Thank you for your presence and your willingness to joyfully express whatever is longing to move through your body, emotional, energetic, mental, spiritual body. The light in me joyfully acknowledges and bows to the light within each of you. Namaste.